Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our second annual performance of the Alexander Radio Theater, live. Once again, we bring our season to the air season on the air to a close on the stage. Please join me in welcoming our announcer for the evening, Glenn Mays.
Good evening, everyone. I, too, welcome you to our second annual live performance of the Alexander Radio Theater. For those of you here who are under the age of 60, this should be quite a treat, because what you're about to hear and see is not something that you've ever heard when it happened. That was radio drama. Before television burst onto the scene in the 1950s and in the 1960s, people relied on their radios for much of their entertainment. Imagine sitting in your living room on a Saturday night when everyone in the family would gather around the radio to listen to their favorite shows like Gangbusters, or The Shadow, The Life of Riley, The Lone Ranger, Fibber McGee and Molly, My Friend Irma, and a host of others. Comedy, drama, mystery. They each came to life on radio and in the imagination of the listener. So for tonight, we hope that you will enjoy our production of Gunsmoke, Easy Aces, and a little mystery. You're now invited to take a little walk back. And take a walk back in time with me to a time of soda shops and penny candy and neighborhood grocers and silver screen legends. Welcome back to the golden age of radio. Enjoy classic radio plays of a bygone era. Reimagined here for you by the Alexander Radio Theater. And now, Gunsmoke.
I sure can't find your order, Miss Kitty.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Jonas.
I saw Edna getting the things together, but she did with them, I don't know.
Mr. Jonas, I don't mind waiting.
Well, it bothers me. She should be here till 5 o'clock. But no, every afternoon, come 4:30, she has to run off to the boarding house, change her clothes, comb her hair, freshen up, as she says.
If she's not a good worker, why do you keep her on?
No, I didn't say that. She's a fine worker and smart and pretty. Why, in this short time she's been here, she's cleaned that end of the store there from top to bottom. Everybody likes her. As a matter of fact, I'd hate to lose her.
Lose her?
Well, she keeps talking about San Francisco like it was the land of Canaan, and she couldn't wait to get there.
Well, maybe it's only talk.
No, I don't think so. She's too took up with the idea. And I get the notion that Dodge is just a place she ran out of money. And as soon as she saves up some, she'll be on her way.
She ever tell you where she's from?
Well, a farm someplace in Ohio, I think. She keeps saying how she misses the excitement of New York City and the opera and all. But then one day, we get to talking about hogs and milk cows. And she let it slip, almost bit her tongue off after she'd said it.
You think she's ashamed of being raised on a farm?
No, it ain't that. It's more like she was scared, like she had to keep a secret.
I'm back, Mr. Jonas. I'll just tidy up the counter and... Oh, Miss Kitty.
Hello, Edna. My, you look pretty.
Why, thank you.
Miss Kitty is waiting for her order, Edna.
Oh, I've got it all wrapped up, sitting on the counter here.
That was very thoughtful. Mr. Jonas was just telling me.
Oh, I knew you'd be in, so I told Mr. Jonas rather than have you wait, I'd get it ready, and he'd give it to you. Here you are.
Miss Edna, it's almost 5 o'clock. Are you, oh, good afternoon, Miss Kitty.
Hello, Chester.
I'm all ready to go.
I'm all ready, Mr. Proudfoot. You'll have to forgive the way I look, but I've been working all day, and a person does get a little wilted.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, shall we go? See you in the morning, Mr. Jonas.
All right, Edna.
Nice seeing you, Miss Kitty.
Nice seeing you. And you too, Chester.
Yes, it was. Very nice.
Mr. Jonas, I think you're wrong.
About what?
San Francisco. I think Dodge City is as far west as Edna plans to get.
I just think trains are the most exciting thing, Mr. Proudfoot, don't you? All that black smoke and the huffing and puffing and the way the whistle screams. It's like a big wild animal or a dragon.
Well, now, I never quite thought of it that way.
Mr. Proudfoot, would you mind if I just held on to your arm till it leaves?
Why, no, not if you're really scared.
My, but you're strong.
Well, I don't really think so.
And you must be very brave, too, working with Marshal Dillon the way you do, fighting Indians,
Well, we don't fight many Indians. Mostly we
and
just...
capturing rustlers and horse thieves and train robbers.
Well, every once in a while we'll have one of those.
I'll bet you've saved his life lots of times.
And Mr. Dillon has a way of looking after himself.
Ooh,
There she goes.
it
You know, it is pretty exciting at that.
it certainly is.
Here's the marshal's mail, Chester.
Oh, thank you, Miss Charlene. I was just coming in to get it.
Think you and your pretty little companion can carry all that by yourselves?
Oh, sure. Miss Charlene, this little bit is, I think we'll manage all right. Miss Charlene, she sure is a kidder.
I'll bet there are real important things in those letters.
Oh, once in a while there is. Don't seem to be much today, though. Just 3 wanted circulars and a...
Could I see one of them?
Well, I guess there ain't no harm. They're gonna be posted anyways. Here.
Oh, Texas Sam. Oh, what a mean, terrible-looking person.
That's not a very good picture of him. He's really tall and...
Oh, no, don't show me the others. I don't want to know about such people.
Well, all right, but you asked.
But I would like to see the envelopes.
Now, Miss Edna, the U.S. mail is sort of sacred-like.
Oh, Chester, just let me look. My, the Department of the Interior in Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Marshal's Office in St. Louis? My, all that important mail. It is a responsibility, isn't it?
I think I better walk you home now, so I can take the mail to the office. Mr. Dillon likes to look at it before he goes out to supper.
Chester,
Yes, ma'am.
this boardwalk's terribly rough. Would you mind if I took your arm?
You sure that's the move you want to make?
I guess so.
Well, that makes 3 games in a row. I suppose I should feel flushed with victory, but I find absolutely no satisfaction in beating a half-hearted opponent.
What are you talking about?
What's your problem?
Oh, there's no problem, Doc.
Come on, out with it.
Well, you'll know sooner or later anyway. It's Chester.
Chester?
Has he been up to see you?
No. Why? Is he sick?
Something's wrong with him.
Well, what are his symptoms? What does he do?
Nothing.
Well then, what makes you think...
Oh, those are his symptoms. He doesn't do anything. When he's here, he walks around with a blank expression, doesn't hear a thing I say. This place hasn't been swept in a week. I've made the coffee for 2 days. Day before yesterday, that drifter we had in the cell didn't get any supper.
Well, that doesn't sound like Chester.
That's what I'm talking about. You have any idea what might be bothering him?
As a matter of fact, I do. And the only thing that amazes me is that it hasn't happened long before this.
Well, what is it?
Chester is a victim of your ingratitude.
Oh, now, Doc.
Yeah, that may sound silly, but it's a fact.
Look, Doc.
Nope, you listen. You asked my opinion, and I'm going to give it to you. I've seen cases like this before. A man goes on, year after year, doing his job. Then suddenly, one day, he asks himself, why? Sure, he gets paid for it, but he has to feel that what he's doing is important, that the person he works for appreciates his efforts. If he doesn't, all the spunk goes out of him, and he begins to think that maybe he should find something else to do.
You mean Chester's thinking about quitting?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Tell me, when was the last time you said something nice to him?
Oh, something nice. Look, I can't run this office like a Sunday school. If I have to pat Chester on the back every time.
All right. You asked me, and I told you. You just go on like you have been. No word of thanks, no praise, barking orders, expecting things to be done day after day.
Well, maybe you're right.
You certainly wouldn't want to lose a man like Chester because of your stubbornness.
No, I wouldn't. Doc, it takes a real friend to be honest with a man the way you just were.
That's right, Matt. That's what friends are for. Now, how about another game of checkers, and this time see if you can give me a little competition.
After a long and dusty ride, a hard-working cowboy needs a hard-working saddle soap to get his leather looking clean and fresh. That's why the most experienced cowboys choose Red River brand leather and saddle soap. It's especially prepared to clean and renew saddles, leaving the leather as soft and supple as the first day you climbed into the saddle. And Red River saddle soap's easy to use. Simply wet the soap, apply to the saddle, and rub with a sponge or a cloth. Allow your saddle to dry, and then it will shine with the soft, silky luster of new leather. Also good for boots and shoes and leather accessories. Red River brand leather and saddle soap guarantees the best product at the best price, or your money back. Purchase your Red River saddle soap at the nearest saddle soap store today. Red River keeps you rolling in the saddle. Look clean and sharp with Red River leather and saddle soap. If you don't want to take all day cleaning and preserving your equipment, try Red River. Red River soaks into the leather of your saddle, your tack, your gloves, and your boots. It cleans and protects the finish for a long wearing gear. Quick and easy to apply, and always ready for work. Remember, Red River brand leather and saddle soap keeps your boots shiny and soft and makes your saddle easy on your bottom.
And it tastes good, too.
There she goes.
Yep, there goes that old dragon.
It sure is exciting.
It sure is. Well, we better go in the depot and pick up the mail. Miss Charlene must have it sorted by now. have to get it to Mr. Dillon so he can look at it before supper.
You'll have time to walk home with me, won't you?
Well, sure, I didn't mean that. I just meant,
I see you got your pretty little helper with you again, Chester.
I sure have.
Kind of brightens things up to have her come in with you every afternoon the way she does.
Is the mail sorted, Miss Charlene?
Of course it is.
Well, then, could I have it, please?
Here.
Thank you, Miss Charlene. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
You know, Chester, you're my favorite person in this whole town.
I am? Well, now that's mighty
It's
fine.
true. And I'll tell you something else.
What?
This is a secret. Lean over so I can whisper it in your ear.
Well, just say it. Nobody can hear.
Lean over. That's what I think of you, Chester.
Well, now, ma'am, Miss Edna, that's very, I don't think Front Street is a place to be,
Oh, it's all right, Chester. I don't care who knows.
I think I better take you home. On account of Mr. Dillon will be mad if you don't get this mail.
It must be very important mail tonight. Let me see.
Now, you shouldn't do that. Miss Edna,
I know the United States mail is sacred and it's your job to protect it.
please give it to me, Miss Edna.
Oh, one from the Department of the Army, a circular, a catalog of firearms and ammunition, another circular, a letter from, oops, I dropped that silly old catalog.
Oh, I'll get it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it ain't hurt none. It's just a new Granger catalog I sent for.
Here are the letters.
Thank you. Miss Edna,
What's the matter?
there was another letter here.
There was?
You know there was. You had it right in your hand. And there it is.
Where, Chester?
You stuck it in your shirtwaist there.
What makes you so sure that's your letter?
Well, it has to be.
Mr. Proudfoot, are you accusing me of stealing a silly old letter?
Well, no, ma'am. I suppose it could have got there by accident, but I don't think so.
If you're so sure, why don't you just take it away from me?
Well, I just might.
But if you try, I'd scream like anything, and everybody in Dodge would think that Chester Proudfoot was a big, nasty old brute.
Miss Edna. Miss... Dagnabbit.
Good morning, Chester.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Dillon. I'm sorry I didn't get your breakfast this morning.
Every man has the right to sleep late now and then. And I think it's kind of good to eat breakfast out once in a while anyway.
I just didn't close my eyes until after sunup, Mr. Dillon. I just tossed and turned and tossed.
You know, I think you've been working too hard, Chester. I think you should take a couple of days and pack your saddlebag, take your fishing pole, ride out and just loaf a little. Remember that little stream cuts off the Arkansas?
I remember it, Mr. Dillon, but I just couldn't do that.
I can manage without you here for a couple of days.
Mr. Dillon, if you want me to go away, you don't have to be nice about it. I understand.
Chester, I didn't say I want you to go away.
You said you could manage without me.
No, for 2 days. I figured you needed a rest, a change. You've got a tough job. I've got a tough job, any marshal has. If he doesn't have help he can count on, his job is twice as tough. You're a good assistant, you're loyal, you're dependable. When you're covering my back with a rifle or a shotgun, I don't worry about what's behind me, I can think about what's in front of me.
Mr. Dillon.
Shut up, I'm not finished yet. When I'm out on the prairie 4 or 5 days a week at a time, I gotta have a companion I can stand to live with. Well, most of the time, I can stand you. Does that sound like I'm trying to get rid of you? Does it?
No, sir. And thank you very much. You've just helped me make up my mind about something very important.
All right, then. Now make up your mind to clean up this rat's nest from top to bottom before I get back. I'm going to the Long Branch.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon.
I don't know, Kitty. Guess I was pretty hard on him, but maybe it helped. Anyway, sweet-talking him seemed to make him feel worse.
And that was Doc's idea, huh?
Yeah, he figured Chester needed some encouragement.
And what did you figure?
Well, nothing. I'm just tired of him mooning around like a lovesick calf, neglecting his work.
You said it, I didn't.
Said what?
Mooning, like a lovesick cat.
Oh, now, Kitty. Chester? Who?
You men, you get so wound up in your own little world, you don't see any of the interesting things that go on. I suppose now you're going to tell me you never heard of Edna Wallstrom?
Well, sure. She's the little girl Jonas hired to work in the store. Came to town a couple of weeks ago.
Well, she's not exactly a little girl. She's 22 if she's a day. She's very cute, and she sent her cat for Chester.
Kitty, Chester isn't the kind to go chasing after girls.
I said she sent her cat for him. She's got it all planned. She gets off work at 5, Chester meets her at the store, they walk down to the depot to wait for the 5:15, pick up the mail, and he walks her home.
And that's all?
That's all? It seems to be enough to keep him completely dazed all the next morning and afternoon.
What do you know?
Well, speak of the devil,
Mr. Dillon.
Huh, well,
Dillon.
oh, Chester. Miss Wallstrom.
Marshall?
I think you know Miss Kitty Russell.
Yes, I do. Good evening, Miss Kitty.
Evening, Miss Kitty.
well, won't you sit down?
We'll sit, but we're not going to drink. Miss Wallstrom has something to tell you, Mr. Dillon.
In that case, I'll just leave you three alone.
No, please stay, Miss Kitty. I don't mind.
Well, what is it?
I'm under arrest, Marshal.
What?
Chester arrested me for tampering with the U.S. mail.
You didn't open the letter, Miss Edna, so it just makes it interfering instead of tampering.
That's still a pretty serious charge, Miss Wallstrom.
I know that now, Marshal, but I didn't really believe Chester until he showed it to me in a book. And he said he liked me very much, but if he didn't arrest me, he would be even guiltier than I am, because it wouldn't be being loyal to you, and that a marshal has to be able to trust his assistant in everything.
Who was this letter addressed to?
To you, Marshal. Here it is. It's from Mr. Gruber, back on a farm near Akron, Ohio, and it's all a lie.
If you hadn't opened it, how do you know it's a lie?
Well, Mr. Dillon, this Mr. Gruber wrote to Miss Edna about a week ago, and he told her what he was going to do if she didn't take the next train back to Ohio.
Oh, well, let's find out.
If you'd only told me about this, Miss Edna, instead of trying to steal that letter.
I just didn't know what to do, Chester. I thought if the marshal didn't know about it, old Mr. Gruber would leave me alone.
Well, I know, but you can't just go
Well,
around-
Miss Wallstrom, did you steal $200 from this Mr. Gruber?
No, Sir Marshal, I didn't. He gave it to me. It was a loan.
He says here you signed a confession.
That's not true. Well, maybe it was a confession, but he told me I was signing a note.
And you're telling me the truth now.
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, we'll find out who's lying tomorrow.
What do you mean, Mr. Dillon?
Gruber's getting into Dodge at 10 tomorrow morning.
Are you going to put me in jail, Marshal?
No, you just stay on at the boarding house tonight. But right after breakfast tomorrow, you better show up at my office.
I certainly will. And Marshal, if you can't make that mean old man tell the truth, I will.
When somebody breaks the law, they should be in jail.
That may be true, Mr. Gruber, but this jail wasn't built for women. I'm still not sure the law was broken.
Well, you got my letter. I sent you her confession.
I know. And if you file a complaint back in Ohio, I can hold her here in Dodge until they send someone to take her back.
But I'm already here. I will take her back.
Mr. Gruber, the law just doesn't work that way.
But why do you think I came? Why do you think I spent all that money?
I don't know. You say she stole $200. This trip must have cost you twice that much already.
That's right. And it will be worth every penny and more.
But why?
Because of that old fool Gruber.
What?
I'm sick and tired of being that old fool Gruber. Let's all laugh at that old fool Gruber. Everybody gets the best of that old fool Gruber. Well, this time, Gruber is going to win. This time, I'm going to laugh. They'll see whether... Oh, who is this?
This is my assistant, Chester Proudfoot.
Oh,
Chester, this is Mr. Gruber from Ohio.
I know. Here's a telegraph, Mr. Dillon, from the Akron police.
now we'll see if old Gruber is so foolish.
You've read it, Chester?
Yes, sir, I did.
And now you read it, Marshal. Go ahead.
Complaint against Edna Wallstrom filed here by Hans Gruber, January 10. Charge, theft. If presently in your city, please apprehend and hold for extradition.
So now I want her arrested.
She's no criminal, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, you think not?
No, I don't. She's a fine person. And if she did something wrong, she must have had a real good reason.
Chester,
I'm sorry, Mr. Dillon, but I'm real upset.
Now look here, young fellow.
No, you look here. I think Miss Edna's a very fine person, and I just won't believe she would do anything really bad like stealing your money. She works hard, and she's nice, and she's pretty, and she just wouldn't do a thing like that.
Oh, you've got a lot to learn, young fellow.
That may be, but there's one thing I know. If you say one mean thing when she gets here, if you try to scare her one little bit, it's going to make me madder than I already am.
Are you threatening me?
Chester, nobody's going to intimidate her. I'll see to that. Now you calm down, and I promise you we'll get to the bottom of this just as soon as...
Here she is, Matt.
Hello, Kitty. Oh, come on in, Miss Wallstrom.
And you must be Hans Gruber.
That's right.
Well, I sure wouldn't be proud of it. This is one of the few times I wish I were a man. If I would cut the rail and carry both ends of it just to ride you out of Dodge.
Kitty, I just got Chester calmed down, so don't you start. Miss Wallstrom, do you know this man?
That's Mr. Gruber.
Hello, Edna. Why did you do it? Why did you do it, Edna?
Mr. Gruber, you told me when I signed the paper that now everything was all right. You know I was going to pay it back.
Oh, I don't mean about the money. Why did you run away? Everybody laughs at me.
I can't help that, Mr. Gruber. I had to do it.
But why?
I'll tell you why.
Kitty.
No, Matt, this is important. Mr. Gruber, you're a widower, aren't you?
That's right. 4 years now.
And Edna here was your housekeeper, your hired girl.
Yeah.
How much did you pay her?
Well, not so much maybe in money, but there's room and board, and I bought goods so she could make clothes.
And on fair day, one Friday a month, you took her to town with you, along with the chickens and the eggs and the pigs, and you gave her $2 whole to spend. Is that right?
Yeah, but...
And for that, she kept the house, did the baking, the cooking, the washing, and the ironing, fed the pigs and the chickens, gathered the eggs, and when she wanted to leave, you wouldn't lend her enough money to live for 2 weeks while you went looking for another job.
Yeah, that is so, but I didn't want her to go away. She was always talking about New York or San Francisco. I was afraid if she had money, she would go away.
But you made it easy for her to steal $200, and then you made her sign that silly confession just so you could use it to frighten her into staying on the farm.
But it didn't work. She had the money. I couldn't find it. And she used it to go away.
Is that the story, Gruber?
Yeah, that's the story.
You must be very proud of yourself.
No, I'm not. That's why I had to find you, Edna.
I don't even want to talk to you, Mr. Gruber.
Well, you don't have to talk. Just listen. I will talk. I had to find you because, because I want you to be Mrs. Gruber.
What?
That's all right. You laugh, but you listen too. I've hired a couple, Jacob Glassnap and his missus, to run the farm. And you know the little house with the green shutters? The Schaefer place. We used to pass going to town. The one you always liked so much.
What about it?
I bought it.
Well, that's very nice, Mr. Gruber.
Well, wait. I'm not finished. Look in this envelope. Go ahead.
Train tickets to San Francisco? Why, Mr. Gruber.
And I wrote to the Palace Hotel. They will get us married, and we will stay there. And we'll buy some fancy clothes, and we'll go to the show houses, and...
Oh, Mr. Gruber.
I want you should call me Hans, Edna.
Oh, Hans, you're the nicest person I ever met.
Oh, there's a train at 5:15, if you can get past.
Oh, I can, Hans, but we'll have to hurry. You come with me. We'll get everything together.
Well, what about this warrant?
Oh, I will write to them from San Francisco. Just forget about it. Please.
But that's about the darndest thing I ever saw.
I'm just so excited, I almost went off without saying goodbye. Miss Kitty, thank you so much for helping me. And Marshall, I'm sorry I took the letter. Really, I am. And Chester,
Yes, ma'am.
please lean over.
Well, now,
Please. Chester, I think you're the nicest younger person I ever met. Goodbye.
goodbye, Miss Edna.
I'm sorry, Chester.
Oh, that's all right. It's all right, Miss Kitty. It's just, well, Mr. Dillon, some people sure are hard to figure out.
Chester, if by some people you mean women, they certainly are.
At this time, we will take a 15-minute intermission. Refreshments are available in the lobby. And when we return, we'll continue our program with a 5-minute mystery called The Bookcase. And Easy Aces, Jane sees a psychiatrist. Enjoy the intermission.